Your grocery cart is not the first place I would cut. If you are standing in the aisle, putting back the berries, switching to the cheaper cereal, and wondering if the good eggs are too much this week, I get it. Groceries are loud. You touch them, you carry them. You watch the total climb while somebody waits behind you. But before dinner gets smaller again, give the quiet bills a turn. The rule is simple. Before groceries take the hit, pull one recurring bill and ask 4 questions. Did it renew? Did the promo expire? Am I using this tier? Can I compare it today? That is the doorway into this video. Not a guilt trip about snacks. Not a lecture about discipline. A 7-bill check that may create more breathing room than another painful cut in the cart. If that sounds backwards, that is exactly the point. Most people start with the purchase that hurts in public. This list starts with the charge that keeps working after you stop thinking about it. One is a moment. The other is a contract, a renewal, a setting, a calendar date, or a default choice you made months ago and never reopened. Bill 1 is auto insurance. Then internet, then your phone plan, then utilities, then medical bills and prescriptions, then bank fees and payment timing. Then subscriptions, delivery passes, and app memberships. Some bills can be renegotiated. Some can be compared. Some can be corrected. Some should be marked as fixed so you stop wasting energy in the wrong place. The order matters. A grocery cart feels controllable. A renewal notice does not. The cart demands a decision right now. The bill at home asks nothing, so it wins by default. That is how a household can save $3 on lunch meat while a larger recurring bill keeps taking the same amount every month. So picture the checkout moment. The total is higher than it used to be. You feel that flash of panic and your brain says, cut food. Tonight, use the better rule. Do not make the cart smaller until the quiet bills have had their turn. This is the order I would check. Not because groceries are fake. They are real. Because the bills you do not touch often have more leverage. Here is the mistake this list is built around. The bill in your hand feels bigger than the bill running in the background. That is why groceries get attacked first. Food is visible. You walk through the store, make dozens of small decisions, watch the total rise, then carry the evidence home in bags. It feels like action. A recurring bill behaves differently. It arrives by email. It renews on auto pay. It hides inside the bank app between gas, coffee, rent, and a charge you meant to look up. If the amount is wrong, too high, or just stale, nothing in your day forces you to stop and notice. Doing nothing counts as yes. That is the whole mechanism. Doing nothing keeps the old insurance renewal. Doing nothing keeps the internet promo that expired last spring. Doing nothing keeps the phone add-on nobody uses. Doing nothing keeps the delivery pass that helped for one busy month and then stayed alive for the next 11. Researchers have names for this. Salience. Defaults. Inattention. Fine. In household English, it means today feels louder than later, and the setup decides what happens when you forget. Companies understand that. The charge that is visible, urgent, and embarrassing at checkout gets your attention. The charge that is automatic, boring, and annoying to compare gets to keep going, and grocery pressure is real. The April 2026 inflation release still showed food at home up over the year. Nobody needs another person pretending groceries are easy. The point is not that groceries do not matter. The point is that groceries are the line item your brain can see, while several bigger levers may be sitting in your inbox. So before each bill, use the same little script. Is this current? Or is it a renewal I stopped questioning? Is there an obvious comparison object? Am I paying for protection, speed, data, access, or convenience I actually use? And if I cannot lower it safely, can I put it in the fixed pile and stop blaming groceries for everything that turns vague budget panic into a checklist? Bill 1 is auto insurance. It goes first because it has the right mix of size, invisibility, and renewal inertia. Most people do not shop it every month. They get the renewal, wince, complain for a day, and let it roll because comparing policies feels like homework with consequences. But this is not a tiny coupon category. In the latest official consumer expenditure release, published in late 2025 using 2024 data, average vehicle insurance spending was $1,993 for the year. It was up 12.3% from the year before. That is not your bill. It is a scale check. It explains why this deserves attention before another grocery cut. One annual insurance line can be large enough that a better renewal, a better discount, or one corrected rating detail matters. The same release put average food at home spending above $6,000 for the year, so the grocery pain is not imaginary. That is the point. If a household is fighting hard over food, an insurance renewal near a third of that annual grocery line deserves one careful hour. You are not looking for magic. You are looking for stale assumptions. The practical move is not drop protection and hope nothing happens. That is bad advice. The move is to make the renewal earn its place. Pull the declaration page. Look at the premium, deductible coverage limits, drivers, vehicles, annual mileage, and discounts. Then compare 2 or 3 quotes with similar coverage, not the cheapest stripped down version you can find. Ask boring questions. Is your mileage lower than it used to be? Are you still paying around a vehicle you barely drive? Did a student, driver, job, address, defensive driving course, or bundling change create a discount? Is the deductible still the right trade-off for your emergency fund and risk tolerance? That last part matters. A lower premium can hide a bigger risk. If you raise a deductible from $500 to $1,000, the bill may look cleaner, but the next accident costs more. That is not automatically wrong. It just has to be chosen on purpose. The money code rule is compare coverage before you compare price. If the same protection is available for less, that is real breathing room. If the lower price only appears after you remove protection you actually need, put the bill in the caution pile and move on. The win is not always a lower bill. Sometimes the win is knowing this is not the place to cut. Either answer is better than standing in a grocery aisle, feeling like food is the only lever left. Bill 2 is internet. Internet bills are very good at becoming weather. You sign up during a promotion. The first price feels reasonable. The router arrives. The password gets taped inside a cabinet. A year later, the promo expires. An equipment fee appears. Taxes and fees shift, and the new number just becomes the number. Annoying, but fixed. It may not be fixed. The useful change is that Internet now has a better comparison object than it used to. Broadband labels are supposed to show core plan details in a clearer format: monthly price, introductory rate, data allowances, speeds, and fees. The label will not lower the bill for you. It gives you something clean to compare against the plan you already have. That matters because internet bills are packed with words that sound technical but behave like prices. Speed tier, equipment, data allowance, installation credit, promotional discount. You do not have to become a network engineer. You have to translate the bill into the same few boxes every provider has to answer. So do not start with the phone call. Start with the bill. Start the base price. Circle the equipment rental. Circle any data cap, speed tier, promotional credit, and expiration date. Then look at current offers available at your address, including your own provider's public new customer page and any real competitors. The call changes when you have a comparison in front of you. You are not saying, please be nice. You are saying, this is my current monthly price, this is the speed I actually use, this is the equipment fee, and this is the competing label I found. What can you do for an existing customer? Sometimes the answer is a lower rate. Sometimes it is removing a rental fee because you buy your own modem. Sometimes it is moving down from a speed tier. Nobody in the home notices. Sometimes the answer is no, because there is no real competitor where you live. That is still useful information. The test is not, can I talk a company into being generous? The test is, am I paying an old price because I stopped checking? And if you work from home, run a business, have gamers in the house, or rely on stable video calls, do not cut speed blindly. Do not create a new problem just to make a bill look smaller. Compare first, then change. Bill 3 is your phone plan. This one survives because it feels personal. Your phone is not a luxury object anymore. It is work, maps, school messages, two-factor codes, family photos, and the thing you use to prove you are not late. When the bill feels too high, people leave it alone because the risk feels bigger than the savings. Good. Respect the risk, then check the waste. Open the account and look at actual data use for the last 3 months. Not the plan name, not the marketing promise. Actual use. If the plan says unlimited, but your household uses a small amount of high-speed data, you may be paying for a ceiling you never touch. Then check the lines. Is there a tablet line nobody uses? A watch line that sounded convenient and now sits in a drawer? A family member who moved to another plan while a charge somehow stayed behind? Phone bills collect little ghosts. Next, look at device protection. It may be worth it for some people, especially on a new expensive phone in a household that actually breaks screens. But it is not sacred. Compare the monthly protection cost, deductible, device age, and what a repair would actually cost. Paying protection on an old phone because it renewed quietly is different from choosing it on purpose. Then check international add-ons, cloud storage, hotspot tiers, streaming bundles, paperless and auto-pay discounts, and any old promotional credits that disappeared. The action is not switch carriers today. The action is make the bill prove you still use what it charges for. If the current plan still fits your data, coverage, device, and household, keep it. If a lower tier or prepaid plan fits the same life with less waste, you found room that did not require a smaller grocery cart, use the friend test. If a friend read your bill out loud, which lines would make you say, wait, why are you still paying for that? Start there. Bill 4 is utilities and energy. This is where the video has to stay honest. Some utility costs are not negotiable in the ordinary customer service sense. You may not have a choice of electric company. You may not be able to switch suppliers. You may already be using less than your neighbors. So the question is not, can I negotiate everything? The question is, what part of this bill is a rate? What part is use? What part is a fee? And what part is a program I have never checked? Energy pressure is current. The April 2026 inflation release had energy up sharply over 12 months, with electricity also higher. The Energy Agency's May 2026 outlook projected average residential electricity prices for 2026 above 2025. A household can do everything right and still feel squeezed here. That is why this chapter should not sound like, just unplug your life. If the real issue is a higher rate environment, blaming yourself for normal usage is useless. But an old plan, a forgotten fee, a missed assistance program, or a schedule that punishes the way your house actually runs can still be reviewed. That is why this bill belongs before another food cut. Not because every viewer can magically lower it, because the pressure is large enough to deserve a clear look. Start with the rate plan. Some utilities offer flat, time of use, budget billing, or seasonal plans. Time of use can help one household and hurt another. If your family runs laundry, charging, air conditioning, and cooking during peak hours, the wrong plan can punish normal life. If you can shift use without making the house miserable, the right plan may help. Then check assistance and efficiency programs. Some utilities have income-based help, weatherization programs, appliance rebates, medical baseline allowances, or budget billing that smooths the monthly shock. Those are not shame categories. They are programs built into the system because energy is essential. Then check the obvious physical stuff without turning this into a scolding lecture. Thermostat schedule, air filters, phantom loads, old bulbs, leaky windows. The point is not to live in the dark. The point is to stop paying for waste you do not notice. And if you are in a state with supplier choice, read carefully. A cheap teaser rate can become a worse bill later. The same autopay rule applies. A low opening number is not a win if the renewal quietly climbs. The utility test is separate fixed, flexible, and risky. Fixed gets accepted. Flexible gets reviewed. Risky gets avoided. Bill 5 is medical bills and prescriptions. This one is emotionally different. Nobody wants to treat a medical bill like a coupon. There may be fear in it, pain, a diagnosis, a hospital visit, a prescription you actually need. So the rule is clear. Do not skip care because a video told you to lower bills. Do not ignore a bill and hope it disappears. Review it before you surrender to it. Medical bills are confusing because several systems can touch the same event: provider, facility, insurer, lab, emergency department, pharmacy, payment processor. One visit can create several envelopes and portal messages. That complexity makes people freeze. The first move is an itemized bill. Not because every item is wrong, but because a summary bill is too vague to check. Ask what treatment, date, provider, and code you are being charged for. Then compare it to your explanation of benefits if insurance was involved. Was insurance processed? Was the bill already paid in part? Is the provider in network? Is the date right? Is there a duplicate? For certain surprise out-of-network bills, the No Surprise Act may offer protections for care starting in 2022. That does not mean every medical bill is illegal. It means you should know when a bill deserves a second look. Then ask about financial assistance, charity care, hardship programs, or payment plans. Many hospitals and clinics have policies, but the policy does not help if you never ask. A payment plan is not the same as a discount, but it can turn a panic bill into a scheduled bill. When you call, write down the date, the person you spoke with, the reference number if they give one, and the next step. Medical billing is one of the few places where a calm paper trail can change the conversation. The goal is not to win an argument in one call. The goal is to stop treating a confusing number as final before anyone has explained it. For prescriptions, compare options with a clinician or pharmacist. Is there a generic? Is there a different pharmacy price? Is a 90-day fill cheaper? Is there a manufacturer or assistance program that applies? Again, do not change medication because of a bill hack. Ask the medical professional who can tell you what is safe. The medical bill rule is accuracy first, rights second, payment plan third. The grocery connection is simple. A confusing medical bill can make a household punish food for months. Before you make the fridge empty, make sure the bill is real, correct, processed, and on the best available path. Bill 6 is bank fees and payment timing. This is the smallest looking category that can create the biggest bad mood. A monthly maintenance fee, an overdraft fee, a returned payment, a late fee because the bill pulled 2 days before payday, a subscription that hits the same morning as rent. None of these feels like a lifestyle choice. They feel like the bank app mocking you. Start with overdraft settings. Consumer protection guidance says banks cannot charge overdraft fees for one-time debit card purchases and ATM withdrawals unless you opted in. Checks and recurring electronic payments can still create problems, and a merchant may still charge a returned payment fee even when the bank does not cover the transaction. So the useful move is not just turning something off and forgetting it. The useful move is knowing what happens when each type of payment hits. Open your account settings and look for overdraft opt-in status. Then look at monthly maintenance fee requirements. Is there a direct deposit minimum, a minimum balance, a student, senior, military, online only, or lower tier account that fits better? A fee waiver you used to qualify for, but lost when your paycheck changed? Then build a payday calendar, not a full budget, just the dangerous week. Put rent, insurance, phone, internet, utilities, subscriptions, loan payments, and paycheck dates on one page. Which bills hit before the paycheck? Which can move by calling the provider? Which should come from a separate bill account? Which annual renewal needs a reminder 1 month earlier? This is where a small change can feel bigger than it looks. A household that gets paid on Friday and has 3 automatic payments on Thursday may look irresponsible on paper. In reality, the calendar is badly arranged. Move 2 due dates, and the same income feels less chaotic. Nothing about the person's character changed. The collision changed. A bill due date is not always fixed forever. Many providers let you choose a different date. Moving a phone bill from the 2nd to the 10th can matter if payday is the 5th. That is not making more money. It is reducing needless collision. The bank fee rule is, stop paying for bad timing. If your income is irregular, this matters even more. The goal is not a perfect calendar. The goal is fewer surprise collisions, fewer avoidable fees, and fewer moments where groceries become the emergency brake for a timing problem. Bill 7 is subscriptions, delivery passes, and app memberships. This is the category where doing nothing counts as yes most clearly. A trial becomes a monthly plan. A monthly plan becomes an annual renewal. A delivery pass saves money during one busy season, then becomes a convenience tax after your routine changes. A streaming service survives because one person in the house might watch one show someday. A cloud plan, fitness app, meal kit, software tool, game pass, audiobook credit, newsletter, storage upgrade, and premium app all defend themselves by being slightly annoying to cancel. That annoyance is not imaginary. In March 2026, the Federal Trade Commission said it continued to receive thousands of complaints each year about negative option and related practices, including more than 100,000 complaints over the prior 5 years. Plain English, doing nothing, waiting too long, or fighting a confusing cancellation path can keep a recurring charge alive. Academic research on subscriptions points in the same direction. Consumer inattention can be valuable to companies because people keep paying after active use fades. You do not need to know the model. You need to notice the behavior in your own bank app. This chapter has one rule. Every recurring charge needs an active yes means you would sign up for it again this month at today's price. Not last year's price, not the trial price, not the version you imagined when you were tired and clicked through checkout. Today's price, today's life, today's use. If the answer is no, the bill has to earn a downgrade, pause, or cancellation path. Not a default yes, not a maybe later. Not a guilty yes because cancellation takes 6 clicks. An active yes. Open the last 2 bank or credit card statements and search for recurring charges. Put them into 4 groups. Keep, pause, downgrade, cancel. Keep means it is used, valued, and cheaper than the alternative. Pause means useful sometimes, not this month. Downgrade means the service is worth having, but the premium tier is not. Cancel means the bill is alive, only because you have not wanted to deal with the friction. Delivery passes deserve their own check. Ask, how many orders did this pass actually affect last month? Did it make you order more often because delivery felt prepaid? Are fees, tips, menu markups, or minimums still making each order expensive? A pass can be useful for some households. It can also turn convenience into a default dinner plan. Do the annual renewal review before the date, not after the charge. Put a calendar reminder 30 days before each annual renewal. That one habit changes the power balance. The company no longer gets to ask while the money is already gone. For monthly services, set one recurring review date instead of fighting each charge separately. The first Saturday after payday works for some people. The last evening of the month works for others. The exact date does not matter. What matters is that the decision becomes scheduled instead of emotional. Here is the direct viewer challenge. Do not cut groceries before you check what renewed silently. If a subscription is worth it, keep it without guilt. If it is not, do not make your food budget pay for its politeness. Now turn all of this into one page. At the top, write, before groceries, then 7 lines, auto insurance. Compare similar coverage, ask about discounts, and do not remove protection without understanding the risk. Find the base price, equipment fee, promo expiration, speed tier, and a real comparison label, plan. Check actual data use, unused lines, device protection, add-ons, and discounts, utilities. Separate rate, use, fees, and programs. Then mark what is fixed, flexible, or risky. Medical bills and prescriptions, request itemization, verify insurance processing, check rights and assistance, And ask a qualified professional before changing care, bank fees and timing. Check overdraft status, account fees, due dates, and the payday collision calendar, subscriptions and delivery passes. Keep, pause, downgrade, or cancel. Every recurring charge needs an active yes. That is the checklist. Keep it boring on purpose. One page beats a complicated spreadsheet because the moment this becomes a project, it starts competing with your actual life. The checklist should fit next to a laptop, on the kitchen table, or inside the Notes app you already use. If it requires a new personality, it is too complicated. It is not individualized financial advice. It cannot tell you which insurer to choose, which plan is right, what medical care you need, or whether a specific subscription matters in your house. It is an order of operations. And order of operations is what most budget advice misses. If groceries are tight, yes, shop carefully. Use the freezer. Plan meals. Compare unit prices. Waste less. Those are good skills. But do not let the grocery aisle become the place where every quiet bill dumps its pressure. The cart is emotional. The bill stack is strategic. The cart says, remove something now. The bill stack says, make the recurring charges prove they still belong. The cart gives you a visible sacrifice. The bill stack may give you actual breathing room. Maybe you check all 7 and only one moves. That is still a win. Maybe none move. But now you know the pressure is real and not a personal failure. That is also a win. Maybe the auto renewal is fine. The internet plan is bloated. The medical bill needs review. And 3 subscriptions are only alive because canceling them was annoying. Now you have a sequence. The sequence is the relief. It gives you a next step when money feels foggy. It tells you which call to make before you start cutting normal food. It tells you when a bill is worth fighting, when it is only worth monitoring, and when lowering it would create a worse risk than keeping it. You are not trying to become a different person. You are not trying to optimize every dollar until life feels smaller. You are giving the quiet bills one fair inspection before you ask Groceries to absorb another hit. So before next checkout moment, do this once. Open the bank app. Search the recurring charges. Pull the insurance renewal. Look at the internet bill. Check the phone plan. Put the utility, medical, and bank fee questions on one page. Then go grocery shopping with better information. Maybe the cart still needs a few changes. Fine. But at least the berries are not taking the blame for a bill you stopped questioning 6 months ago.